G'day everybody, I'm Drew, and joining me here is Paul for a preview of Welcome Tour on Nintendo Switch 2. Paul, how you going, mate?
I'm well, how are you, mate?
Very good. We're here to talk about the most anticipated Nintendo Switch 2 title coming out at launch, and it's not Mario Kart World. That is sarcasm, obviously, but we are here to talk about Welcome Tour, the $15 game that could have been, but isn't, a pack-in title for the Switch 2. Paul, how was your time with it? How much time did you spend with it? You went to an event where you could play Mario Kart World, and I dare say that was the main focus when you drove down there. So, how long did you spend with this game?
Mario Kart was the main focus, but we've got about 45 minutes to an hour to kind of mess around with Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome to Us. So, for the most part, it's if people went to the experiences, whether it's here in Melbourne where I am or wherever else in the world that was hosting them, it was pretty much what people had been able to experience in the past, but just an extended session. There was a few different zones that you could go and explore. I got up to... PR suggested, hey, see if you can make it to Zone E. I didn't. I got to Zone D. But within those, I mean, a lot of this stuff has been seen by people. We were discussing it just before we started recording this bit. There's, mini games like spot the difference in the frame rate between 20 frames and 120 frames, or some really cool ones around. And I think you probably experienced this as well at the Melbourne experience, the one where you use the mouse functionality, and you're trying to dodge all of the falling spinies, I think they were, if I remember. They were dropping. You need to survive those for 20 seconds to get the 1 star, or 30 seconds for the 2 stars. I learnt with some of the activities there's actually a 3 star that's not revealed initially. So again, pro gamer Paul, that's not. Sorry, mate. You thought that I wouldn't have some ego shit to wheel out, but I notched up 1 or 2 of those things where I was, oh, hang on, there's a 3rd star here, and maybe there's a 4th and 5th. I don't know, but it seems like there's like a 3-star difficulty thing that's kind of concealed a little bit, which was kind of cool. That gives people that little bit of an extra. Oh, how far? Like if I can really push this, if I can really excel at counting frames. No, I don't know if that one actually has a 3rd there, but if I can really excel at whatever this particular mini game is that I'm playing, that they're going to acknowledge that I've got the skills, which is kind of cool. I like that they're doing that. But honestly, I mean, you kind of made the joke there, the most anticipated game. Like, this is going to be one of those games where I think for most people, firstly, it's still kind of a bit crazy to me that people are being made to pay for this, considering that things like Astrobot exist on the PlayStation. But I certainly remember there's an old Miyamoto thing, and actually I heard it get brought up, I think, when I was listening to a podcast this morning, or this morning as of when we record this, I should say. There was an old conversation Miyamoto had way back in the day, I think, when it comes to the Wii. Reggie was trying to lobby to make sure that Wii Sports was a pack-in title, just a free pack-in thing. Or maybe it was something else. There was some game, I can't remember what it was, because Wii Sports was a bit of a pack-in game. But Miyamoto pushed back, like, no. Like, people pay for the experience.
It was
what game was it?
It was Wii Play with the Wiimote.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. And his whole thing was no, people pay for the experience. We don't give these things away for free, which sounds awful when you're probably just quoting it or paraphrasing it like we are. There was more nuance to it, I'm sure, and it made a lot more sense, and it probably wasn't as corporate as we're making it sound right there. But I feel like this game would benefit from being free. Not because it's bad. Like, what it does pretty well, but it's pretty bare bones, it's pretty basic, and it is, at the end of the day, just a tutorial for how to use your Switch or what the Switch can do. And so it feels a little bit belittling to the player to have to pay for that. Yeah, I certainly have my opinions about it, but I am curious to pick your brain about it. You got to play it a lot more extended than I did. I got to play it for maybe 5 minutes, and it cut me off early because the demo units weren't reset when I went to it at the Melbourne experience. Oh, okay.
So I played with the maracas for a little bit, and then I was doing the guess the frame rate game, and it cut out. I'm like, cool, and I walked off. I wasn't concerned whatsoever.
0 frames.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no frames. I didn't see it. So yeah, and it was cool to sort of feel the HD rumble too, but it kind of just felt like it was the same feeling I had from the Switch 1. Like, oh wow, I can feel the ice. It's just like, wow, I can feel the rubber ball, that type of thing. But With your extended session, you got to play it for, like you said, 45 minutes to an hour. Was there anything like, there's a bit more to this, or this surprised me? Something that, some positive to take out of it, because this game's had nothing but bad press. So I'm just like curious, is there a positive side to this? Somebody who is excited for it doesn't mind parting with $15 because they're going to spend it on a Subway footlong anyway. They may as well just spend it on the digital purchase here. Is there anything for them to look forward to?
Look, I'm not going to say go buy a footlong and ignore Welcome to it, because like it is still fun. I think the big sticking point, we've already discussed it, is the price thing. I think that's going to be the real challenge for people to overcome. But if you do play it for as much as you are paying for a tutorial for your Switch 2, and some games that in some aspects feel a little bit gimmicky, they are still pretty fun. There are some good challenges in there to mess around with. The price is, I think the price is just the big problem here. I had a bit of fun with it. There was some tedium at one point. So like you've kind of got the, I don't know, we call it the overworld, I guess, like where you're kind of walking around and
isometric view, walking up to, and you're going around the Switch.
Walking around kind of the Switch Joy-Con or across the screen or whatever it happens to be, to get to these different challenges that are set up. And in one of the zones, I think it was Zone C, which then allowed me to get to Zone D at the end of it, I had to walk around and collect all these stamps in the area. And it was basically interacting with every single little... There was like a little stand that would pop up in front of, say, the analog stick, or one in front of the X button, or the Y button, or ZL, and you had to move across the entire Joy-Con and find every single little thing, right down to also the, I don't know what, but the magnetic bit that attaches. And there was a whole string of different things down there for like the LED light that shows that your player won when it's disconnected, or like all of those sorts of things. I'm like, oh, and there was like 24, 25 of them on one Joy-Con, and they're not like, the podiums aren't there. You have like, it's when you walk past that, boom, it appears.
Oh.
So I was sitting next to our friend Luke Mitchell from Checkpoint, and he's succeeded and moved on to Zone D, and I'm just stumbling around going, where is this missing thing? And I had no idea where it was. I'm like, this is already a little bit of a mountain for some people to have to climb to get into this game, because they maybe don't feel like it justifies, as much as it's only $15, quote unquote only $15, as much as it's a small amount of money relative to every other video game that exists. There is this prevailing theory that people shouldn't be paying at all, and within that, you're now going, here's this kind of stupid little wall you have to get through to just stumble around blindly for a while until you find all of these little stands around the controller before you can finally move on to the next section. Didn't like that at all. That was tedious, really aggravating. It felt completely unnecessary. Like, yes, you want to tutor us and show us what your controller can do, but you've got PR beats for that. You've got the Nintendo Today app that can sit there and talk a new player through everything that the Joy-Con can do. Like, you don't need to force us to do that in this game. Or don't make the podiums invisible. Make them all there for you to see, and at least go, okay, we need you to interact with all of them, but you can see where they are. Go to them. Instead of just walking around, and as soon as you get kind of within a radius of it, there it goes. So I'm irritated by that part of it. The rest of it was perfectly fine. But that, it might be 10 minutes of people's time if they're unlucky enough to just be wandering around and missing it over and over. But like that was a really annoying 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
no, fair enough. And
I had nowhere I could go, nothing else I could do. I was at Nintendo, and I didn't want to.
Eyeballing you. You sit there. You play Welcome Chord. Damn it.
You find that podium, damn it.
You do it.
And I'm looking over at Luke, going, mate, where is it? Show me where it is.
Yeah, no, it was
like, I don't know, there's 25 of them, and you're missing a needle in a haystack. Like, it's just
missing a button on a Switch. That's what you're missing. And
it obviously wasn't the obvious ones. It wasn't buttons and those sorts of things. So
yeah. No, that's fair enough. I think for me, I find it frustrating because I am geeky and a nerd enough to be like, I'm so excited for Switch 2. I like a little interactive instruction booklet being like, hey, look, this is how the HD Rumble works. It works by vibrating springs, and they are located here. I'm all about that. That sounds
Yeah.
really cool. And like, when it's like, hey, we're going to demonstrate it for you. Here's a maraca with a bunch of little beads in it. Here's another one with a rubber ball, and then you can like press a button
Feel
and
the
swap
difference.
between the textures in them, and spot the difference. And then it has like little challenges in each one. I'm like, I'm all about that. I just but I've just I've got my pre-order down. I'm about to pick it up tomorrow. $700 I spent on this thing. I don't really want to. It just comes down to just it feels like Nintendo's just kind of taking advantage of people like me. I'm like, I don't want to be taken advantage of. You can take advantage of me like with Mario Kart and stuff, but when it's just like it's just frustrating in some ways. But it is what it is. We'll see how we go on launch day, whether I'll pick it up, whether like I'll be lucky enough to get a review code or whatever. But yeah, I want to try and stick to my morals.
Yeah, I mean, when Mario Kart exists, when there's upgrades to Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, when there's and then obviously a bunch of third-party stuff that's coming to the platform as
so
well.
much.
The GameCube classics, all of those sorts of things, feels like a hard ask to get people to, as much as it is, just $15 compared to 120 for Mario Kart. It's not a compelling enough prospect, I think, for most people to justify the 15. And they go, I could just spend another hour with Mario Kart and I'll probably have more fun. So that'll be a challenge for this one, but I don't think Nintendo's I sense they're not too worried how it goes anyway.
No, they're focused on Mario
know
Kart. That's fine.
Yeah, they know that Welcome Tour is not the thing that's getting people to buy a Switch anyway. So, same with 1-2 Switch back in the day. Like, they don't mind.
No,
it is what it is. If it gets a few people interested, they get a few sales out of it, great. But the investment was probably pretty minuscule. The profits will be pretty small as well, presuming there is a profit on it. I presume there will be. Nintendo rarely loses money these days on things. But yeah, I don't see what it is about this that's really going to hook people, unless you are the likes of yourself, me or you, that you want to kind of mess around with these things, and maybe you want a bit of a challenge. And certainly, as soon as I discovered, there's like a 3-star, like there's a higher level here. Now there's a bit of temptation to go, okay, how can I chase this and kind of earn that? I like that, but otherwise, I'm not going to be rushing for this. I'm going to be spending my time with Mario Kart. I'm hesitant to say this on a House of Mario show again. Because I didn't look at comments or any of those sort of things, or the community thing after I said it last time, but I'm sure I got ripped to strips that like I wasn't a Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom fan. That they're not my kind of Zeldas, but
not my Zelda.
Not my Zelda back in the day. But also 100%. That's where I come. That's the island that I live on.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But at the same time, like, I am really, really keen because Nintendo Switch Online members get those updates for free. I'm going to try them out again. I don't have to worry about the frame rate things. The games are going to look better than ever. And maybe I just need the fresh eyes over it again that I didn't have in 2017, and that caused me when Tears of the Kingdom come out to go, no, I'm fine. I didn't like the last one. I bought it because I couldn't not buy a Zelda game, but I haven't played it.
Oh man,
not for a second. And that's blasphemous to say, right?
Oh.
And I know how ridiculous that sounds, and it feels ridiculous to me to even say I didn't play a Zelda game, and I didn't want to play a Zelda game.
Man, I would love you I'd love
and
you to play it and have you back to record an episode. Like, what did you think? Even if you hate it, I would love that'd be fun.
Lock me in, because I'll be really clear. I want to love these games. It's not like I adore Zelda. Zelda has been, outside of Final Fantasy, it's been my favorite franchise in gaming for my entire life. It's just the direction they went with that didn't jive with me, but the circumstances weren't necessarily ideal. Like, I was playing that at the time. When was I playing that? Like around honeymoon time, so I was traveling. Playing video games wasn't necessarily the priority around the time of my wedding and the time that we were heading off. And then that kind of came and went, and then I don't know, for whatever reason, I wasn't having the best time with it. So you combine all these circumstances. This is going to be a totally different environment that I'm going to revisit these games in, so I'm keen to. And so then I look at that and I go, why would I pick Welcome Tour? above all that. Let alone if you're a hardcore Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom fan and you want to go back in the games that are going to look better than ever. Like, there's no compelling, really obvious compelling reason to play this game, and I think that's hurting it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. We have plenty of options. Like, just going back to old games, like there's 11 Switch games getting free updates. Everything from game Builder Garage to Mario Odyssey to obviously the Switch.
Pokemon. Oh my god.
The Switch 2 editions. Yeah, you can go and play Pokemon at a normal frame rate, which
Might work.
Yeah, it might work potentially. I'm not even 100% guaranteed, but
no, I'll believe it only when I see it. Like,
That's
and
right.
then you get things like Link's Awakening that don't have a frame rate boost. Like, oh my god, Nintendo, come on.
That'll be fine though, because those games they do target 60. So like, it is an unlocked frame rate.
So it just needs the horsepower to be able to carry it there.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's the.
So yeah, that's the thing when you look into those updates. There's a lot of like nuances. Like, for example, the games that say that they're targeting a frame rate increase, that's because they're locked to 30. So
30, and now they're pushing it. Okay, right, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
then. Cool.
Because Echoes of Wisdom runs at 60 sometimes, but it fluctuates a lot.
But now the horsepower should mean that it remains at 60 solid.
Should.
Hopefully.
Hypothetically. Yeah, knock on wood.
That's
exactly.
a Zelda game.
Yeah. But you've brought up Zelda now, dude, and I am so excited to go and play Breath of the Wild. I wanted to go back to Tears of the Kingdom because I was going to pick up my save from a couple of years ago and just go and do the rest of the shrines and things. But at the Melbourne experience, I just played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom just to see what they looked like. And playing Breath of the Wild, I'm going to pick up that save from maybe 2018 or 19, whenever I last touched it. It's been a long time. And I'm just going to pick it up, dust it off, and head on out.
See where it takes you.
Yeah, I can't wait because I was like at the demo, I was taking down Guardians just on the field, just like, oh, I'm hunting Guardians. It was so much fun. I'm going to do this again. So yeah, I've got way too many options. There's a really exciting Mario Kart game coming out. My favorite games,
pretty good,
probably of all time. They're both getting a really nice facelift, and there's a lot more on top of that from a bunch of third parties and stuff. So yeah,
and Donkey Kong and those sorts of games are then like Donkey Kong's a month away.
So there is a lot of choice. Will I? I guess the thing is, the last couple of questions I want to ask you is just like the rest of the press at the event previewing the game. Did they all have a similar sentiment to you, or were they like, oh, was one of them just jazzed and like everyone else was just like, what do you want about, dude? Like, was there the one excited person there?
This is probably the worst possible outcome for Nintendo, is that no one really talked about it.
Yeah, everyone's just like, yeah.
So we chatted like everything was kind of sectioned off on the day. It's like, okay, let's do a bit of Grand Prix, and then okay, piss off, go get some food for a sec while we go and set up free roam, or come back and we'll set up knockout, whatever it happened to be. And then they kind of dropped Welcome Tour in the middle there, and afterwards the conversation wasn't how was Welcome Tour? It was, so what have you been up to? And it was all the social, like all the social stuff, and like that to me was setting off a bit of an alarm bell that like I don't think it's bad. I think it's really good for what it is, but it just shouldn't be paid for.
So all the politics around it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's get your politics out of my games.
No, they're in there. Welcome to all politics.
It's just we shouldn't have to pay for it. I think that's the obstacle for them. And maybe one day it becomes something they pack into Nintendo Switch Online, which I think would be. I honestly feel like that would have been the best way to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it's free, but it's not.
And you're comparing it to like PlayStation 5 that came out and had like an amazing bite-sized 3D platform of it that eventually
could have won Game of the Year awards potentially if
That's
it wasn't
right.
a free demo, basically.
It was my favorite PS5 game for a long time. I loved it. I was like
until the main game itself came out, right?
Yeah, and that was absolutely phenomenal. Like, oh my god, like the idea of like a full game of Welcome Tour coming out. I'm not quite as excited for that potentially. No, not quite. So, yeah. And I guess the final question as well, you do a lot of coverage with Player 2.
Yep.
You probably end up with a copy come from Nintendo since you went to the event.
Yep.
We've taken the $15 out of it. You got your Switch 2, it's downloaded. Are you playing it much? Are you going to play all the minigames, do the 3 stars, all of that type of thing? Does it compel you at least enough to press A on the digital icon?
Like I said, I think the cost thing is the big obstacle. But if I had it, regardless of how I got it, if I don't know, found $15 between a crack in the couch and like, oh yeah, whatever, sure, no worries, and I just stick that $15 into the USB spot, and suddenly I have Nintendo bucks and I can buy the game, or I get a code because that's a hidden feature of the Switch is you can just insert real physical cash into it, and it just turns into digital finances, and then the money gets caught up in the fans of the Switch and you blow it up.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's real bad news. But like, regardless of how I got the game, like if I have that game, yeah, I want to play it. Like I'll and I am really intrigued by the idea of the kind of being this hidden level of achievement that's possible within the game, and like, can I do those? Where do I tap out? I want to try and get, I guess, the base level 2 for everything, and then see what I can do beyond that. Like that's enticing. And I do want to see what others. We've seen the same sorts of challenges a few times now. I got a few more than what we were able to experience at the Melbourne experience, but like I do want to see what sort of clever stuff they've got in store, because some of these could be, as much as they are very primitive and basic in this setting, they could be the underpinnings of a brand new Nintendo IP. The things that they could do with the mouse in particular, I mean, could be huge. Like obviously a mouse is not a revolutionary tool. Like we've been using them on computers for God knows how long. But yeah. But at the same time, Nintendo hasn't gone down this path since Mario Paint on the Super Nintendo. And I mean, maybe we see a Mario Paint come back, like that one where you're using the mouse to kind of navigate and try and dodge the falling obstacles. Like maybe there's silly little gimmicky arcade style experiences that they could come up with.
Oh yeah,
maybe it's
definitely.
Maybe that is the $15 game, but it's more of your indie styled experience. It's a short and sharp arcade style thing. That could be a lot of fun. And maybe we see kind of version 1.0 of that in Welcome Tour, and then people really gravitate towards it. They go, that was a really cool aspect. And Nintendo looks and goes, maybe we could turn that into a game. We can add a bit more meat to the bone. We can create a level structure. We can have whatever it is that we do with it. And suddenly, 2 years from now, 18 months from now, whatever it is, you've got a little arcade-style experience that's built on the backbones of something in Welcome to it. Like, I want to see what they've got in store, because they are a wonderfully creative company. So yeah, if I have the money, or if I'm fortunate enough to get my hands on a code or whatever it is, then yeah, I'll check it all out. But otherwise, I'm not going to rush. It'll be one of those things that if I'm looking at my Switch, I go, okay, I've kind of played everything I want to play at the moment, and it's 6 months down the line and whatever, there's nothing else to play that's new at the time, which there won't be, because this is the Switch ecosystem we're talking about, and they're just churning all the time these days, Nintendo. But if I happen to find that window where there's nothing, I'll throw $15 at it and buy it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think for me, I'm looking at the download size. I'm looking at 23 gigs for Mario. I'm looking at 3 gig for Welcome Tour. So I might maybe do Welcome Tour first, and I'll take a few hours to download Mario Kart World on my slow country internet. So that's
a good rationale.
That's the opportunity for me. The Zelda games are going to be like 20 gig. All these games are going to be pretty big. Because for me on launch day, I'm very excited for Street Fighter, Mario Kart, a couple of others, whatever I get my greasy little hands on. So it's just the smaller download size. That's when I'll have the opportunity. If not, if Mario Kart comes pre-downloaded or something like that, there's no chance. I'll play it another day.
Yeah, I don't know how that's working with it. I feel like it's not for anyone who gets the Mario Kart bundle. I think it's still a code in the box.
It'll be a code in the box. Because like on 3DS, you didn't have an account system, so games that came digitally bundled in, they actually came preloaded, which was pretty cool. But these days, in the day of the digital download, no, got to tie it to our account first.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a digital only man on Switch, and
sorry, I was being really sarcastic, but yeah, I could go either way.
There's no sarcasm.
I know where it's heading. I have to embrace it whether I like it or not. So
I did want to go physical on Switch too, but I got slapped in the face by the key cards. I'm like, no.
They're not giving us much reason to, are they? So
I'm like, oh no, I'll stay away from that. But Paul, thank you very much for joining me to talk about Welcome Tour. I really appreciate it. We had a fun discussion here about Zelda and other games as well, which is quite good.
It's always good. I've already now got a standing invite to come back to talk about Zelda down the line.
Oh
so
my God.
looking forward to it.
Please, Paul. I would love to have you on if you have.
I'm looking forward to the episode of the House of Mario headline, which is why I still hate Breath of the Wild in 2025, and everyone coming for me.
Yeah, well, that'd be a great headline. Look, I wouldn't be too upset if you came back not liking him. Like, well,
Just reach out to Nintendo PR in advance and go, I got Paul on board for this. It's not, I swear this is not me. Don't make anything of the headline.
yeah, that's right. It's like I like the game. Tears of the Kingdom is potentially my favorite game of all time. So I'm like, yeah, I quite like it.
No, I can actually, I mean, like I obviously talk a bit of shit about them sometimes, but I totally understand why people adore them. It just wasn't my type of Zelda game. So, but it could also just be in the time. So, I'm looking forward to going back and giving him another go and like really coming at it with proper, genuine, positive intentions. Not looking for an opportunity to go, yeah, sweet, I can come with it, because I would much rather come back and have a podcast title as why I fell in love with Breath of the Wild in 2025 than something else. But we'll see what happens. Anyway,
That's a good headline too. I like it. But yeah, Paul, where can we check out your work?
player2.net.au. That's where the written preview is for both Welcome Tour and Mario Kart. So go check those out. Socials. You'll find me at Paul James Games. That's on Twitter. That's Blue Sky. That's Instagram. What else? I mean, I've got a whole bunch of footy stuff that people can go check out there. That's on YouTube as well. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Lots of stuff. Go have a look.
You're going to have a look. Linked in the show notes. Go and check it out. Leave a comment. What do you think about Welcome Tour? Are you picking it up at launch? Or are you saving your $15 for a Subway footlong? Maybe put some meatballs on that thing. Some bit of lettuce. Some warm lettuce with those meatballs. Oh, just fucking delicious.
That's real tempting.
Yeah, go and get that. Maybe a Coke. Coke as well. The Coke is very expensive at Subway. Like $6 for a 1600 mil.
Share a Coke with Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I'm close enough. I can have a sip of your Coke there. I'm a Drew. But if you want to check out our Mario Kart World preview, be sure to click here to check that out. See you guys.
See ya.